Hi everyone, welcome to Diana's Table. It's really hard to believe that the year 2021 is almost over. In fact, we only have a few days left. So in preparation for the new year, we have a family tradition of making 김치산적 for the New Year's Day. It's actually made with old kimchi, and we really take effort to make it very nice and pretty for the New Year's Day lunch. So please join me in making this today, and I hope you'll try it for your family and friends this new year as well. So let's get started. First, we have to prepare the ingredients, which are beef, kimchi, and scallion. And I'm going to pre-season the beef first. I'm using brisket meat here. You can use sirloin, or you can actually use flank steak, which is really quite good. So you cut it in, I guess, about 5 inches or 5 centimeters. And because we're going to skew it, you want it long. And in fact, once it cooks, the size will shrink a bit. So you want it a little bit longer than the actual size you want. So I'll cut it into little pieces. So basically, this is actually the ideal size that you want. So now I have the meats already cut. I'm going to pre-season it a little bit. You can refer to my bulgogi seasoning, but you don't have to really go extensively full. So maybe some soy sauce, sesame oil, sugar, just one, and mirin, and of course, what's Korean food without some garlic? So I'll mix it together. Let me take out my You pre-season this and set it aside for 30 minutes. While it's being pre-seasoned, I'm going to prep the other vegetables. I have scallions here, small scallions, about 10 of these. Just use the top part. So I'll cut the top maybe 5 inches as well in length. Just set it aside. Then we have to prep the kimchi. I have here a kimchi that's almost 2 years old. I don't know if you can see the difference in color, but it's very clear. It has this sort of a very sour taste. So you don't want to just use it as it is. So I'm going to pre-season it with a little bit of sesame oil and sugar. And with kimchi, I'm going to use also only the top and get rid of all the sort of the stuffing from the kimchi. So let me just cut the top part in 5 inches. You don't want too much of the seasoning left onto the kimchi because it will make sanjeok a little bit too salty and too spicy. So I like to make sure that the kimchi parts that I'm going to use nice and clean. And then, of course, if you get a big size like this, you want to cut it in half. You can use actually mushrooms. You can use carrots. You can use different kinds of vegetables. And in fact, some people now even use fake crab meat. But our family tradition is to use this old kimchi. So I hope you'll try it this year. I think that should be enough. I think we'll get 10 pieces. As I said, because the kimchi is a bit sour, I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil and maybe a teaspoon of sugar. This will help alleviate the really tart and sour taste. Mix it well. So we're now ready to skewer the ingredients. Because we only have 3 ingredients, you don't really want to have 2 of each. And because the kimchi is a little bit on the tart side, I'm going to start with the scallion and get the little skewer, maybe a centimeter from the top. Take the flat part, not the, the fat part here. Move that in. Put a same for the meat, like this. And as I said, don't worry if the meat hangs a little bit longer than the scallion because it will shrink. And I'm going to put in the kimchi. And because kimchi is a little bit long, I'm going to go it twice. And then, of course, everybody loves beef, so I'm going to add more beef. And then end with a scallion. So if you don't like beef, of course you can change it with vegetables, or you can actually even use pork to do this. And if you want to be really fancy, you can replace it with shrimp. So it's really open to your own imagination. Now that this has been all skewered, I'm going to coat it with flour, like this, very lightly. Enough so that the egg batter will get onto it. Shake extra flour off. So we're ready to cook. I'm waiting for the pan to heat up before I add the oil. You can use any kind of vegetable oil. So, yes, it's getting warm. As again, with any kind of jan or pancake, we like to use lots of oil in the beginning. It really helps to make sure that the jan doesn't stick to the pan. When the oil starts to shimmer, it's ready. I'm going to take the flour-coated skewer, dip it into egg batter, like this. Make sure the egg is getting all over evenly. Then put it gently onto the pan. Repeat this process, and because it's a skewer, you don't want to, flip it too often. So you have to just do it on a medium heat and wait for one side to cook before you flip it over. Let me make room for the first side. First one is, I think, ready to be flipped. Yes. Looking good. Okay, so I think it's ready. Let's flip it over. Ooh, perfect. So while we're waiting for the 산적 to cool down a little bit, I'm going to show you how I make the traditional kind of kimchijan, kimchi pancake, using sort of the leafy part of the kimchi that we used. Here I'm actually using the old white kimchi. One of my suggestion or my key tip for making really nice and tasty kimchijan is that I usually stir fry the kimchi a little bit before I put it into the batter. You can put it directly into the batter as is, and that's the way most people will teach you. But I always find that when you fry the kimchi a little bit, it brings out sort of the best taste. So let's get the heat on. Put some oil in. When the oil starts to shimmer, I put maybe a tablespoon of chopped scallion. And this is what we call getting the scallion oil out. Pre-cooking the oil with scallion flavors the oil, so you don't feel that greasy oil taste, but you get very nice kind of a scallion-y taste, a seasoned oil. So while it's getting hot, I'm going to put the kimchi in. Add a little bit of sesame oil, maybe a teaspoon, and a teaspoon again of sugar. And then I'm going to put garlic in last because I don't really want burnt garlic in my kimchi jjigae. And last but not least, my favorite fish sauce. 1 teaspoon. So now I think it's ready. We'll make the batter and then we'll start the kimchi jjigae. So the kimchi has been fried already and it's been cooled a bit. I'm going to mix the batter right into the kimchi. So I have the maybe half a cup of the frying mix and then another equal amount of the pancake mix. You can actually use just regular flour and add baking soda, but if you have access to these powders at a Korean grocery store, I highly recommend it. Make sure to add water a little bit at a time just to be able to control the thickness of the batter. So as a side dish to the kimchi pancake, I usually make chive salad with just simple onion. So let me just share how we do it. We have very nice fresh baby chives here and cut them into maybe 2 inches or 2 to 3 inches. Transfer to a bowl and then add maybe half an onion. Slice it thinly. As thinly as you can because you want it to not interfere with the chives. And I have the salad mix dressing already made. You can actually refer to my previous salad dressing or see the note below. And just pour in the dressing and mix. You know, in Korea we say all food depends on the taste of your hand. It's called 손맛. Let me just taste it. It's perfect. So heat the pan with lots of cooking oil on low-medium heat. Again, with pancake, you don't want to start with a high heat. You don't want it to burn right away. I'm going to pour in maybe 1 large spoonful of kimchisan mix here. Spread it around too. Now I put it in. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. So when the pancake starts to get a little bit golden brown on the sides, it's ready to flip. You have to be very careful because the oil is hot. Now I'm not sure whether I can do it today, but let's see. Let's try it. 하나, 둘, 셋. So now it's ready to flip one more time. Oh yeah, I don't know if I can make it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good, didn't break. This is ready. I transfer to the very nice wooden board that I have here. And make sure that you transfer nicely. So we now have 2 different kinds of kimchi 전 or kimchi pancakes ready. The first one that we made in a skewer with beef. Once it cools down a bit, you remove the skewer and you can serve it as it is, or actually even cut it in half. But we like to have 1 skewer per person. The white kimchi 전 that I made today is our family secret. I know that you're very familiar with the red kimchi 전. It's very popular. But with the white kimchi 전, we like to serve it with chive and onion salad on top. And it's always kind of refreshing to eat them together because 전 can be a little bit greasy after a while. Anyway, I hope that you will enjoy making these at home and also have a very happy and healthy New Year. It has been a very tough year for all of us with the COVID and everything. And I hope that 2022 will bring you only good news and good health. So happy cooking and happier eating.